This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
How would the Angels players respond to a shocking trade deadline from our general manager, from our upper ownership? Well, the disaster scenario. That's how they responded. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and you just knew, as Save the Planet perfectly says, I knew they were going to lose when they don't score in that first inning there. We will certainly get into that first inning, but I'll go one step further. I just knew after what was said yesterday by GMPM that we were going to lose this game. You just knew it. You're telling me we have the deadline we have where we shockingly don't sell, but also don't buy actual game changers, right? I'm not going to rant about the deadline in terms of the moves anymore. If you want to hear the rants, I did almost a 2-hour rant live stream with John all about it, right? So I'm not going to rant about the decisions that were made. I promise I'm going to try not to. But the moral of the story is you did what you did at the deadline. I'll leave it at that. You did what you did at the deadline. And your first game is against the White Sox, right? A team that a competent team should beat 9 times out of 10 anyways. Any competent team, let alone a team that did not sell. Let alone a team that actually bought. They didn't even do anything. They theoretically bought at the deadline. Although I know calling it a buy is exaggerating because we didn't really give up much. But still, this team acquired players at the deadline. They play the one team. I mean, I know that the White Sox are not the worst team in baseball, but just because of the name, they kind of are, right? It's the one team, the one team. The same way, it's deja vu if you don't remember the beginning of the season. Our season opener is against the White Sox. It's the one team you don't want to open the season with because if you win, nobody's going to give you any credit, but if you lose, you're going to want to burn the house down. Well, guess what? It's exactly what happened today. If we won this game, it would have been good. You better win this game. You better win the next 2 games, or else that deadline's a disaster. And what do? You instantly lose the first game, this series opener. When you've got your GM saying, we're obviously really competitive, and you lose 6-3 to the White Sox. For me, it's insulting when you say, we're obviously really competitive, and you roll out the lineup that you did tonight. I tweeted it. You can follow me on Twitter if you don't already, at Gavin Carlson _. I said, there's no way that a baseball team can be a buyer at the deadline and roll out a lineup with Gustavo Campero at right field. Travis d'Arnaud is your DH in big 2025. And oh, by the way, your DH is hitting 8th. So that's a disaster as well. Your 7-hitter has a 613 OPS in Luis Rengifo. Your 1 through 6 hitters, guess what? You don't have a single hitter hitting 800 OPS-wise. Forget not having a guy with the 280 average. I mean, it's a new time in baseball. That's still 280 is the new 300, and we don't have a single guy hitting 280. But we don't have a single guy with an 800 OPS in the lineup. We've got Gustavo Campero in the lineup. We have Travis d'Arnaud as our DH. And our number 3 pitcher is a guy who hasn't won a game in a century in Tyler Anderson, who was not terrible tonight. But again, that's the problem with what we did at the deadline. Not terrible is not good enough. Average isn't even good enough anymore, guys. The Angels could be as average as possible. They could win and lose every other game, alternate for the rest of the year. The definition of coin flips, guys. And it wouldn't be good enough. That's the best case scenario for this team, is coin flipping every game. And it still wouldn't be good enough. Think about it. And so we will get into what happened in that first inning, but the moral of the story is you have to start by saying it's just the disaster scenario. The disaster scenario is this team does not sell. They play the White Sox the very next day and they lose the game, and they lose it pretty badly. Let's not act like this was a close game, right? Sure. Was it 3-2 at one point? Yeah. But you got out hit 11-4 by the White Sox. You struck out 11 times against the White Sox. And it's also a disaster scenario because two of your big trade deadline acquisitions, they both played in this game. So you can't even use the pipe dream of, hey, we'll just wait until we have our acquisitions playing, right? Maybe we'll be different. They played. Chafin gives up 2 hits. I get it. He didn't allow a run. Garcia, ironically, allows a run immediately. But the biggest irony of the whole thing is Chafin and Garcia could have each pitched a perfect inning, an immaculate inning during their outings, during their appearances, during their innings. And it wouldn't have meant a dang thing because you still would have lost the ball game. You still would have lost the ball game. So again, we try to, I'm a fan, right? And so while I try to give you my honest, objective opinion, I also do like to include best case scenario because that's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the best case scenario. So the best case scenario is you go when you get an Andrew Chafin, when you get a Luis Garcia, the best case scenario is that Chafin has a perfect, immaculate 7th inning. Garcia has a perfect, immaculate 8th inning, right? The best case scenario is that a guy like Gustavo Campero, who has no business starting in an MLB lineup, hits a 2-run shot. The guy hit an absolute moonshot today. A lot of best case scenarios could have happened. I mean, one of them did with the Campero 2-run shot. But again, if Chafin and Garcia pitched immaculate innings, even with Campero doing what he did, even with Nolan Scheinel having 2 hits, the Angels got smacked by the White Sox, guys. Think about that. We're supposed to believe this team is going to go on an immaculate run where they're going to have to win like 7 out of 10, like 3 different times. Think about it. You have to go like 7-3 a couple times probably to make what we did at the deadline worth it. And again, I don't want people to get confused and say, or hear me say what we did at the deadline and think I'm pissed off because we traded away a couple no-name prospects. That's not why. It's because we didn't cash in, right? It's a loss by not adding, if that makes sense. It's a loss by not adding prospects for Taylor Ward, prospects for Kenley Jansen. So am I losing it over? I don't even remember the 3 guys and cash considerations that we gave up for Peraza, Chafin, and Garcia. No, I'm not losing my mind over this loss because of that. Okay. So don't, I know there's going to be a few people that are rightfully going to go, Gavin, why are you tripping like we gave up things at the deadline? We didn't. I'm not saying that we gave up things. I'm saying we gave up the opportunity to acquire things, real things, prospects. The A's just got the 3rd best prospect in baseball, and they're probably going to finish with a record just as good as ours. Yeah, Roman, you're right. I'm upset. Okay. And I'll be honest, I'm really tired today. I know I don't want to go on tangents about my own personal stuff, but I've been interviewing for potential job changes. I've got apartment stuff. Like I said, I'm moving out in a couple weeks. I'm also on an insane crash diet right now because I also do amateur bodybuilding types. I'm exhausted. And yet this team is so infuriating that I am not even remotely thinking about having a chill show. I'm pissed off, man. We all are. We're pissed off. It's why you've got Sell the Team chants in right field 2 days ago by an amazing crowd. It's a Friday night at the Big A. You went and acquired 2 guys. You're playing a horrible team. Again, the expectations, the bar is so low tonight. All you have to do is beat the Chicago White Sox on a Friday night, and it would have been a competent day, right? And you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even do that. And the biggest reason why, we're going to quickly do the turning point. Actually, we're going to take our break. We're going to take our break, and immediately when we come back, we're going to do the turning point. You already know what it is. There's two, a double turning point in this one. We'll do that after our break here on a losing edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'll be right back. I'm losing it, guys. I'm absolutely losing it. So on this Friday, today's show is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this is a hole-in-one for your golf game, for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. I'm a golfer. I try to get into it. I've played in the past. I played in high school, actually. Haven't been playing a lot recently, but when I do, I know you guys make jokes about how tired I am, how tired I look. I don't get the best sleep, but when I wake up for a lift, I take 400 milligrams of caffeine pre-workout. And whenever I go on the course, I use 5 Hour Energy because I need that wake-up call when it's time for, clutch time, lock in. Sunday Red Tiger Woods. You got to be energized, right? And so golf is all about the good times with good people and about the occasional good shot. And of course, it's about good flavors as well. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. So if you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use promo code LockedOnGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. This code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. Back here live on a losing edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels 3, White Sox 6. I don't know what side of that scoreboard is more frustrating. The fact that you only put up 3 runs against the White Sox at home. You only have 4 hits. 4 hits. Again, the 3 runs doesn't do this performance justice. You had 4 hits. You struck out 11 times against the White Sox. And a huge reason why, we'll get right to it, a double turning point here on this Friday night.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Now, I know, typically when I do the turning point, you can always predict. It's going to be some game-changing, play or two, or stranding runners, or giving up a key home run or something in the 6th inning, the 7th inning, the 8th inning, the 9th inning, right, to decide the game. But not tonight, folks. Tonight, the turning point happens immediately in the bottom of the 1st inning, because somehow, if you weren't watching, or if you already forgot, if you've already pulled your brain cells out because of how infuriating this team is, Zach Neto gets on with the leadoff walk. The Angels got walked 5 times today, by the way. You got walked 5 times and you scored 3 runs. Like, what are we talking about? And the biggest reason, Zach Neto walks, Sean Newell gets a base hit, you got 1st and 3rd, then Taylor Ward walks. The bases are juiced, guys. The bases are juiced. Bases are juiced. And really, there's no other way to put it. Zach Neto commits an unthinkable, unfathomable mistake. And it's just a complete lack of, focus, right? Zach Neto gets too far of a lead off of 3rd base. Just a strike right down the middle, and a great play by Edgar Quero. He makes a good play, right? He immediately fires one over to 3rd, but still, Neto in no man's land, tries to dive back to 3rd, gets tagged out. Unfathomable mistake, right? Bases loaded with nobody out. And that happens. The craziest part of all is you get a double steal. Sean Newell and Taylor Ward right after. So you still have 2nd and 3rd. And mind you, it shouldn't have been a double steal. Taylor Ward was hosed, unsurprisingly. He was hosed. But they dropped the ball on the tag. And somehow it's 2nd and 3rd. And still, the Angels managed to not score a single run. Joe Adell strikes out. Yoan Moncada walks to reload the bases, but then Logan O'Hoppe hits a weak ground out, and the inning is over. And when I tell you that the Angels, this was not the only time the Angels had the bases loaded and did not score multiple runs. That's what makes this the most infuriating. You can, as much as I don't like saying it, you can get away with making a boneheaded play or a boneheaded mistake on the bases like Zach Neto did tonight if you make up for it later in the game. Either it's Neto or other people. Outside of a fluke Gustavo Campero 2-run shot, the Angels did nothing to make up for the mistakes that not only Neto made, but the rest of the team made in that inning, right? And of course, you could tear into Neto. You could say what a horrible play, and I kind of just did. But at the same time, man, Zach Neto has bailed out so many guys in this lineup so many times this season, right? He's been our best player. And so it would have been nice to see his teammates. He's the emotional leader and the productivity leader. Would have been nice to see his teammates have his back, pick him up after that mistake, immediately get a sac fly, or immediately get an RBI single or something. We got none of that. The Angels then fall behind 2-0 on a Sosa 2-run shot in the top of the second. Campero grounds out into a double play to kill a potential rally in the bottom of the second. Bottom of the third, nothing going. Bottom of the fourth, 1-2-3. And then again, the fluke 2-run shot from Gustavo Campero. You got to give him his credit, and I'm happy for him, man. There's no reason to not want to root for Gustavo Campero. And I'm not just saying that because I'm 5'5" and Gustavo Campero's 5'6", so short king gang, let's go, right? That's not the only reason. You get a Rengifo leadoff walk, and Gustavo Campero, all 5'6" of them, hits a 438-foot, 109 exit velo bomba to center to make it 3-2. It knocks out the starter, Shane Smith, their ace, or their all-star, and it makes things interesting. Now, unfortunately, Tyler Anderson immediately gives up a home run in the top of the sixth to Colson Montgomery. That makes it 4-2. Somehow argues to stay in the game, and actually Ray Montgomery lets him stay in the game. And then bottom of the sixth, 1-2-3. Top of the seventh, some craziness, a crazy catch from Taylor Ward, crazy catch from O'Hoppe. It's still a ball game, right? It's still a ball game. But then here's the other turning point. It's the bottom of the seventh. And the Angels are down by 2 runs. We've seen this Angels team do it plenty of times. O'Hoppe, leadoff base hit. Love to see it. Rengifo lines out, but guess what? Travis d'Arnaud walk. Gustavo Campero hit by pitch. The bases are juiced, and we only got 1 hit. So again, we're not earning these opportunities. We didn't even really earn it in the first inning, and we absolutely threw it away. We didn't really earn this bases juiced with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th opportunity, and yet we have it. And so while the Angels are horrible at even scoring a single run in this situation, we're horrible at sac flies. And while Zach Neto does get the sac fly, I'm sorry, Zach Neto, when you make the mistake you did in the first inning, a sac fly here isn't good enough. It's not good enough. Or maybe it's good enough if, again, someone else in the lineup has your back. Right? But unfortunately, sac fly, O'Hoppe scores. It's 4-3. And then Gustavo Campero gets thrown out at third right before d'Arnaud would have scored. In what was one of the most crazy plays I've ever seen. In case you missed it, Sean, you thought he came through because he did come through. The base hit. Looks like d'Arnaud is going to score, but Campero gets thrown out at third milliseconds before d'Arnaud touches home plate, right? So even Gustavo Campero could have been the hero. 2-1 shot today. If you end up winning the game, he's a huge reason why. But he gets thrown out at third. And yes, Catsup is right. d'Arnaud is also a slow runner. And he's also could have ran a little bit harder. But I do think this is on Campero getting thrown out at third. And it's just such a bummer, right? 2 base running mistakes. Just every single issue happened today. Your starter wasn't good enough. Your bullpen wasn't good enough because Garcia and Brogdon each gave up a run. Your base running was atrocious tonight. Zach Neto and Campero each make outs at third that cost your team at least a run each. Oh, and you had 4 hits. And you struck out 11 times. And the lineup coming into the game was horrible. And you bought at the deadline when you shouldn't have. I mean, just everything awful. Real Marco Polo, you're absolutely right. You can't make that first or last out at third base. I agree. You're asking why Peraza wasn't pinch running for d'Arnaud? Here's my thing. Again, baseball, there's a lot of aspects, right? And as someone who really cares about OPS, I talk about it a lot, right? It's very easy to focus in on what a guy is doing at the plate. But baseball is also about what you do in the field, what you do on the bases, the type of teammate you are, the type of leader you are. And we have so many guys that only do one thing well, and even that they don't do consistently, right? So Travis d'Arnaud, and again, it's not his fault. The guy's 500 years old. It's 2025. Travis d'Arnaud shouldn't have to do anything other than be the occasional good fielder behind the plate and give the occasional big swing, right? And he had been doing that. But think about it. Think about what a DH is supposed to be. It is supposed to be a guy that is so good at hitting, that he doesn't need to contribute in the field and still deserves to play, right? Like, you have to be a great hitter for you to deserve to be on a roster if you're going to DH, right? That's simple. Or at least a really good hitter. Travis d'Arnaud is not a really good hitter in 2025, and he would admit it. But okay, hey, Gavin, it's not only hitting, like I just said. You know, maybe if he's not playing DH, maybe he's a good fielder or whatever. But if he's playing DH even, maybe he's good on the bases or something. It's Travis d'Arnaud. He's horrible on the bases, right? So just looking at that lineup one more time, you got Gustavo Campero. No offense to him, but he should not be starting on a baseball team, a Major League Baseball team. Your DH, who you're only asking to do 2 things: hit and then run if you get on base. He's a below average hitter and a supremely below average base runner. And that's your guy you're rolling out at DH. Your second baseman, Luis Rengifo, is a 6.13 OPS, and he's a below average fielder and a below average base runner this year. Right? The lineup is a disaster. The construction is a disaster. And we are supposed to be really competitive. It's crazy. So if we needed one last wake-up call after what happened yesterday, that yesterday was foolish. You've got teams like the Twins, who are a couple games behind us, like 1.5 games behind us or something, and they traded 10 guys away. Whoa, that seems a little much, right? No, it's what you do. Like John perfectly said, you got a cannonball one way or another. Either you're buying for some dumb reason, or dang it, sell. For you to do nothing, it's malpractice. It's malpractice. Christopher saying, don't let this distract you from our draft pick that sucked. Hey, at this point, you got to hope Brebner is great. I tweeted it. I started a new MLB The Show franchise with the Angels 2 days ago, and it's depressing when you look at, they actually have some pretty nice ratings for some guys on the Angels. Zach Neto's a 90. Mike Trout's still a 95 or something. Oh, Hoppy's like an 84. Ward, Adele, they're in the 80s. And yet, your 5th starter is like a 65 overall. Your farm system is disgraceful. Bremner's like the best prospect, right? It's a disaster. It's a disaster. So I can't believe that this is the state of the team. And I can't believe that despite what happened today, there's all of you in here. So shout out to all of you. Appreciate it so much. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Keep your heads up. As always, like, comment, all that stuff. It means so much to me. Especially, all the support we had on the live stream yesterday was amazing. Again, if you haven't seen that, the full live is up, almost 2 hours worth of content. And we also have the summarized 30-minute version as well. So check those out. You'll get more raw emotions like the one I have right now. And have a great rest of your Friday night. I'll see you back here tomorrow night. You better win tomorrow night because, like I say here, and we'll leave with this, We're running out of bad losses, guys. You're 4 games under 500. At the very least, you need to be able to win these games. And maybe you have a shot. If you beat every team you're supposed to beat 90% of the time, you have a shot. But every game that you're supposed to win that you lose just makes it even more impossible to make a run. So I'll leave you with that. We better win tomorrow, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Go Angels. Take care, everybody. Love you guys.